Hey everyone, Travis here
What the hell?
with Scarra and ZionSpartan.
I'm not sponsored by No 4.
Who-
Can't get that out there. Keep going. Keep going with the introduction, Travis.
It's good to be back in the swing of things doing these interviews at the CLG house, though. This is the first time I've ever interviewed Scarra and Zion at the CLG house. So Scarra, everybody knows about you, but this is actually going to be coming out with a announcement about you, Zion. Now you've been rumored to have been joining CLG. Some ex-coach guy said something about it. I don't know. Anyway, it's been a while, and now you're apparently officially on the team. When did this happen? When were you officially joining the team? When did all that go down?
I'm actually a jungler for TSM. I don't know what you're talking about, Travis.
I understand. Okay, I'm in the wrong place. No. When did it all go down?
After my contract was up, I talked to CLG about possibly joining the team, and while the roster wasn't what I wanted it to be with the support staff that CLG had and a lot of the things that we talked about, I was very interested in being on the team, and I felt like I could make the team change for the better from what I'd heard about previous splits and previous issues and a lot of issues I had on Dignitas as well. And I just feel like individually and as a team, it could just be a lot better, and that's what I'm looking forward to for this season.
Well, I just mean, when officially did you end up joining the team? I'm curious because, like, again, I've been hearing about it even since, like, around the time that you departed Dig or whatever, and lots of people have been like, oh yeah, Zion's on CLG. So, like, have you been trying out this week, or what was that process like?
I actually didn't do a tryout. I just signed when we negotiated for a while and decided that I'd join the team. There was no tryout for me.
Damn. That's how confident they are in you, Zion. That's how confident they are. Now, I don't know, did this guy have any involvement in that? Were you involved with the decision to bring Zion onto the team?
No,
That all happened before you showed up?
I was not obligated to pick up Zion at all. I just decided that I really liked to have a diverse group of racial people on the team, and so we felt like we really needed to fill in that racial hole. And I was like, you know what? Zion's our man.
That's all I am to you, Scar, just filling the racial quota. I see how it is.
I want to be a step ahead of the affirmative action that eventually happens when Riot enforces that next year.
Well, there we have it. Now we understand what's going on. No, Scar, okay, so what is the timeline here between you joining the team, Zion joining the team, all that kind of stuff? Because I'm sure a lot of people will want to know, like, is this the team that Scar built? Is this because a lot of people put a lot of the responsibility on, like, Monte Cristo when he was the coach for CLG. So how much involvement did you have in crafting, and will you have in continuing to craft the extra spots open on the CLG roster?
Well, let's put it this way. I think coming onto the team, I was required to keep a couple people, but I had no problems doing that. And everything else is kind of up in the air for me, and I officially had final say. I don't exactly know what that actually means, but apparently I do have final say and stuff. And so anything that happens to the roster or has happened to the roster since Zion is all part of my plan, my greater plan for world domination, something like that.
CLG World Domination. I do appreciate the fact that you guys are slowly at least picking up these players and deciding it, because it allows me to just keep doing more interviews and covering these announcements rather than you just doing it all at once.
You know what's great? What people have figured out that we're scrimming, but we're actually just using the same person and using different accounts. So we've already finished our roster for 2 weeks already, and people are just being like, "Oh my God, could it be Pole Belter next? Could it be Mongol Warrior mid?" Dude, they don't even know. We already sketched out the plan. It's already in the stone.
Did you just admit to account sharing?
No, we use Peter's account, so he's account sharing. We're just accomplices.
I don't even know what's going on at this point. Zion, I have in my career as a League of Legends esports interviewer interviewed many, many, many different CLG top laners. And, it's great. I love all of them equally. You're the next one. How are you going to be different than all of your predecessors? Question of the ages, right? Yeah.
I think I'll be gone in less time.
Okay, yeah.
I'll
6
complete the
months.
cycle
6
sooner.
months.
I think, I'm just going to be like every other top laner, CLG abandons, and it's It's gonna be rough, man. But you know what? I can play a mean Shyvana. I'm a great Doctor Moon. Like I'll just tank everything. I'll tank the criticism. I'll tank the turret, and I'll tank the enemy champion. So doublets can carry. Don't worry. We're gonna make a protect the doublets comp so good. It'll knock your socks off.
Doubling down on the double lift is what's happening right now, I think. Yeah. Is this your plan, Scar? You came in here and you're like, we've received a lot of, or CLG in the past has received a lot of criticism for this, but I feel like we just haven't done it right.
Yeah, I was like, look, dude, they tried to protect the double lift in the past, but I really haven't had enough of it. And so we found strict champions that people can play. The mid laner can only play Orianna or Lulu. The top laner can only play 3 of the viable meta tanks, and Peter has to play Twitch every game, and that way we really maximize our Uzi carry potential from AD carry.
I do love the joke, Zion, but realistically, everybody knows, or at least there's an ongoing theory that there seems to be this trend where a top laner shows up, they're ready to carry, they're down to carry. CLG forces them to play more passive roles and champions in the top lane, and that keeps happening. How are you going to beat this, or have you spoken with Scarra? Like how's this going to change? How are you going to break the curse?
I just think there hasn't really been like a top laner on CLG that has worked really well with the team. I feel like okay, they have to play tanks, they have to play these things. I don't really know exactly what led to them like only playing tanks and not playing carries, and like all that criticism that these top laners just have to get put on the tanks, like they can't carry. I personally feel like I can prove that I can carry, and then once I prove that I can carry to my teammates, I can work with them and show that, hey, it's not really like an individual top laner thing, it's like a team thing, and I really got to work with like my teammates to prove that, hey, I'll play tanks, I'll play carries, and I can do both. And I feel like the CLG top lane thing will be broken. The curse will be broken this time.
Very good. Very good. Scar, you and Zion are both joining a team. You're leaving a team and joining a team that actually finished lower than the team that you left last season.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was the motivation for you guys to come over here? Or at least maybe you can speak for yourself. I don't mean to make you speak for Zion here, but it is an interesting situation.
I really just like their color scheme better. Like I thought I worked better with blue than yellow, and so
that is one sexy logo. I just gotta say myself, like Dignitas is just like a circular like thing with 2 eyes. Like just look at that. Like I didn't even realize it was a C and an L and a G. I'm just like, that's one cool logo. And then when I realized that it was actually letters, my mind was blown. And I'm like, I got to join this team.
I feel like every time I ask a question, we have to get a joke out of the way so that we can get the more serious answer.
Travis, it's more like I give you the serious answer, and since you don't believe me, we have to then go with a joke answer. And then because you're not used to non-meta jokes, okay? Yeah. Just like COG isn't used to non-meta tops. We just have to acclimate you to become better conditioned to deal with these factors.
Yeah. Why did you leave Dignitas and join CLG?
I felt that I felt like I was really stagnating on Dig. And a lot of that came from just I was there for a long period of time, and I kind of just wanted to change. And that's the biggest thing. And I understand that wanting to change is a bad thing. So make sure I had very, very reasonable, logical conclusions on why change would be positive for me. And those aren't really things that I could share because they're kind of personal. But it just came down to like I would have like a new challenge, and that would help me a lot in being able to become a better coach and hopefully like a better person, player, all that jazz.
Zion, a lot of people have often spoken about you saying you're such a great top laner, and that, like it's kind of the situation where you are very talented, but then you've been on teams that haven't been able to really like get you to Worlds or get you to, some of these top placings or whatever. Do you think that, I mean, I guess it's a very silly answer, but is this like your coming out party? Will you joining CLG finally be whenever ZionSpartan is unleashed to the world, the potential has finally shown up?
I definitely feel like I haven't proven that I've been a good top laner because a lot of times, yeah, I've had good games, yeah, I've had like good moments, but I haven't gotten anything meaningful. I haven't won anything meaningful as a team, and so I haven't really proven my individual play. And I'd rather just speak with my play than my words. And I'd say, watch CLG in season 5. Watch where CLG goes. Watch what CLG does because CLG is going to be going up. All right, we started from the bottom. We started even below where Dignitas was, but yeah. In like a couple months, maybe like a year, we'll be like, now we're here. And it's going to be Worlds. It's going to be the finals. It's going to be, like, I remember like a year back, like I'm playing TSM, the last game we lose 1 game away. And I can remember like the plays where people get caught out. And I'm just like, no, we're that close. And the confetti comes down and it goes down all over TSM and they're freaking out and they're having a party. And then the loser confetti just like falls down on me. And I'm just like, man, this is awful. Not this time, though.
That's good. Glad to hear that. Is that pretty much your thoughts on the subject as well, Scar?
Yeah, but you forgot to clarify, we're actually going to meet Kaboom in the World Finals. Okay. So he didn't clarify the opponent, but I made sure to throw that one out there.
Scar, what's it like working with Double Lift and Aframu? Because a lot of people...
Rush hour.
Jackie Chan.
A lot of people have started to say like, oh, maybe he's the problem. Like, this is the guy that's been on CLG the longest. They've been, having all these struggles, and he was even in his interview with me after PAX is sort of saying like, oh yeah, I haven't always been the best influence on CLG. Now that you've had a chance to work with him, is this true, or do you need to like team him, bring him in? Is this something Monty couldn't do from Korea because the whip couldn't reach across the Pacific Ocean?
Well, first of all, I don't think Monty's a bad coach at all. I think, his presence here, it had to be like a coach that was on site. Yeah. I just think the biggest thing is just that, like, in the past, every person on the team there has been fault with them. And I don't think there's a single roster, and I stated this in my original vlog, there hasn't been a single roster that CLG has, minus maybe one. I'm not going to point that one out because I don't want to throw people under the bus, but minus maybe one that hasn't been able to win at their collective, at their specific time in their era or whatever. It's just that so happens that there were a lot of issues, mainly with team environment, structure, that were really, really poor. And I feel like the best thing to do about that is just be proactive. Make sure you don't get into a situation where people are like being very negative with each other. Like, you want to tackle team environment problems at the very front. And a lot of people don't understand why these kind of problems happen. I think it really comes down to just like people just get really frustrated. I think a really good example is how solo queue works, and how when you watch players play solo queue, especially in NA, it's really easy to see these players get kind of frustrated. It happens to me too. It happens to almost every pro, and a lot of it is because the pro player sees a play and they see how it executes inside their head. Just like almost any player sees a play and sees how it executes inside their head. And then one of their teammates does the play and just botches it. It's executed fucking terribly. Like, it's just terrible. And they think to themselves, man, if I was in their position, I could have done that so easily. And it's those type of thoughts that create like contempt and stuff for the players. It's that you have to be able to create a team environment where like those thoughts can occur. I'm not saying I'm gonna try to like deny people thoughts, but it's more just like you have to be able to make sure that they think that, and then immediately go over to the next being like, okay, well, like, how can I make sure that he does that, executes that correctly? And it's like people will make mistakes, for instance, and being able to accept that and move on and be like the better teammate and like help the people who are making mistakes is like the next step for most players and most teammates. Like for CLG especially, I feel like the biggest hurdle for them in the splits before, and even this split, is going to be transitioning from being a group of individuals to an actual team, and that's what I'm here for.
It got lost a little bit in the announcement, but your alter ego, which I find this hilarious, that Drunk Scarra, also known as Cumley, has joined the CLG staff, I guess, as an assistant to you. How did that happen? Was it just sort of like you couldn't leave Drunk Scarra behind? You had to bring him with you?
Here's my general thoughts about the coaching scene in general. I think all the coaches are not good. And this includes like the top coaches.
You could just say you didn't think Monty was a bad coach.
No, but I mean, okay, I hold high standards for whatever I end up doing. And when I compare coaches in the Western scene to coaches in either other regions or coaches in other professions, I see a lot lacking. And a lot of that just comes down to the fact that they don't have talented people around them, and they don't have much experience. And I can safely say that when I was on Dig, I didn't do everything correctly. In fact, me and Adam, aka Cumley, messed up a lot, and we were able to learn from that to create better training regimens, better things. But the thing is, sometimes we messed up and we just didn't have the time to recover it. Or sometimes stuff we would learn we thought was working really early in the split. A couple weeks in, we were just like, shit, that wasn't working. Like what we had them do was like wrong. And so I'm taking that experience and coming here. And I think the coach level and the support staff level on Western teams is only going to improve, especially as Riot recognizes that coaches actually exist.
It is nice that they recognize that they exist. Zion, what are your thoughts on Dignitas now? Obviously missing a couple of their members, some of their staff, etc. Do you have high expectations for them next split? Or are they going to become like the new CLG rivals?
I definitely think they can be a good team, but it just depends on if a lot of the issues last split will be fixed, and I can't say for sure. I think Kiwi Kid's gonna have to play really well. He's gonna have to step up a lot. Shifters, like everybody's gonna have to step up on the team that is currently on the team, and I think that's possible. Will it happen? I can't say, and it also depends on who they're gonna get for their other positions, and that's gonna be really big. Like who's their AD carry, who's their top lane, like. That's pretty important, I feel.
All right, final question here, Scarra, before we get into the wrap-up. You guys have now officially vacated both of the international spots on the team. You've got 2 more spots left to be filled. I mean, we don't know Link's future. Supposedly he's trying out based on some of the stuff that I've heard.
Yes.
So, okay, confirmed. So you have these 2 spots open, and you can bring in 2 Koreans. Which ones are you bringing in? Because we all know that's what you do with your extra spots.
2 Brazilians in Kaboom hype.
Yeah. See?
Lepe?
Who's that?
He's on Kaboom.
Well, shit. Maybe not him, but maybe 2 other ones. You know, I think this actually gets thrown out around a lot. That it's really, really easy to look at Royal Club and be like, wow, they succeeded with a Korean Chinese team, multilingual team. But to be honest, looking at that team, like it actually had a lot of internal problems, and they were only barely able to make it work with a support staff, with a Korean speaking support staff and an English speaking support staff. And they were like, it was barely able to work, I think. And I think as the game develops and becomes better, like each and every year, the team play increases and the requirement on the players is much greater. Especially based on CLG's past mishaps, I feel like I want to prioritize the team environment and communication above all other factors. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not open to foreign players, but they have to be coming in with, like, if we do take a foreign player, like, we're going to need a translator with the foreign player, and it's going to have a lot of different requirements for him to be effective and be able to actually create a team environment where he can communicate and he can enjoy himself, and the other team doesn't, like, isolate him. Because I feel like that's happened to Seraph in the past. Maybe Nian wasn't great friends with everyone on the team too. And I think a lot of it just comes down to, like, I guess a lot of the top players are just like lone wolves. But I want to create like a team. Yeah. And I know it's really easy to go and be like, wow, holy shit, if CLG picked up Dade, Spirit, then maybe like go around and get Mata while we're at it, and then maybe get Imp, and then just create like
you've now broken the rules though.
Create like Samsung CLG, then we could like win worlds. But I don't think that's necessary, and I don't even think that's the best direction the team can go. It's in my personal philosophy.
Well, you still pick up Europeans. They speak English too.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm open to foreign players.
So which Europeans are you bringing in?
I don't know. We're taking Incarnation and his twin brother.
Sounds like the thing you need to improve the environment of CLG. Yes. Make it really cooperative. Yeah, I'm going to do this with both of you. Scar, you have anything that you want to say to any of the CLG fans or Dig fans that followed you over, or people who hate you, like TSM fans, anything like that?
I just want to say this shirt is really weird. Like, you know, I've joined this team,
Isn't
and
that for sale?
yeah, it is for sale, sure. And I joined Counter Logic Gaming officially, and even saying those words is really awkward. I was 3 years on Dig, you know, and I cherish a lot of the memories I had on Dig. I hope that I can bring new life to this team. And, you know, maybe Dig didn't perform that well while I was on it. But honestly, I can't say that was on a lack of effort for me. I just wasn't able to perform sometimes. And I feel like coming to CLG with the support staff being able to help me, both Cumley and Zix, that we'll be able to make something happen. And if anything, there's no way it'll be as bad as last season.
I'm really excited that you gave me that quote because I'll be able to use that as like the headline in an interview at the end of the split or something like that. Zion, anything that you want to say to any of the CLG fans or wonderful people out there watching this interview?
Well, first of all, I have to give the great sponsor shout out. You know, we gotta get that all the time. We've got I Buy Power, Razer. I got these off the top of my head. Twitch, NZXT, Cellucor, Sandix. Like, you know, these I've got them. That's the first thing I did when I joined the team. Memorize the sponsors, and I also want to say thanks to all the CLG fans and you know, Dig fans that are all now also CLG fans because and the other Dig fans that also became CLG fans, and friends and family that have been supporting me. It's going to be a very long season, and it's going to be a new journey, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think I have a lot to prove, and I think I can do it.
It's, if anything, people know I sometimes hang out with that Double F guy. It'll be good to see you guys. I know, as I said to you, Scarra, when I walked in the door, I'm just so excited that whenever I come to this house, I'll get to see you.
And I said stay 10 feet away.
Well, now you're leading on me, so I guess we got over that pretty quick. Everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things League of Legends leading up to this off-season events that we've got ahead of us at ongamers.com.